howdy, and thanks a bunch for tuning in to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I'm your host, Wild Bill, the media director here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame in historic Medora. Thanks so much for tuning in. Before we get rolling, I want to remind you of NDRA action that we've got all summer long here on Beck TV. Next up, June 24th and 25th, we will be in Strasburg for the Beaver Valley Horse Club Rodeo. Exciting NDRA action right in your living room, courtesy of your friends right here on Beck TV. Do we ever have a great program for you today? In fact, our co-host, Tisa Peak of Dakota Horse Magazine, visits with JT Family Equine in a few minutes, and she visits with some instructors as well as the students, and there's one student in particular that is going to melt your heart. Tamarin will say hi to you, and she will show you her pony, and then she's going to steal your heart. I guarantee it, and that'll be coming up in just a few minutes with Tisa. Our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame Hall of Honoree inductee of the week this week is a member of the famous North Dakota Six-Pack. We're going to highlight Dean Armstrong coming up in a few minutes, and that segment brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. We've been getting a lot of inquiries about our interview that we have coming up next. It's with 2019 Hall of Honoree inductee Walter Piehl Jr. We tried to do this interview back in March, and Walter came down with some health issues, but he's back on his feet and he's stronger than ever. And we're going to talk to Walter about his art and his life in general, and that'll be coming up next. And later on in the program, we have the Dakota Cowboy Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week. He's 10 years old and he's won more trophies than you can shake a stick at. It's coming up here on Dakota Cowboy. So call up your neighbors and tell them to turn on Beck TV, because Dakota Cowboy started about 2 minutes ago here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamely Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamely Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamelyfinancial.com.
Stop out to our facility, Highway 22 South. Let us build a truck for you.
Beck News is your leader in local. Beck specials and live information for you. Original programming. Exclusive local sports. Beck is local for you. Uncensored topics and uncensored opinions. Unapologetic politics, where all sides are represented. Full episodes online anytime at beck.news. All in one network. Your leader in local, Beck News.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision, North Dickinson. Call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. Today we are at the Bismarck Art Gallery and Association,
Yep.
BAGA, visiting Baga with my longtime friend. I say that from the heart, Walter Piehl Jr.
You bet.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I don't know if your viewers know. I've 5 weeks ago had double bypass and a valve replacement, so I'm real happy to be here today.
You know, you said something when you were inducted in 2019 that is really a bit of irony today. You said when you got up to that podium, Walter, to accept your honor of being inducted, you said, "Today my heart is filled with good medicine," and that's a quote by Charlie Russell, I believe, correct? One of your favorite artists.
You bet.
How ironic is it that you are actually filled with heart medicine today?
Yeah, I am so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Considering I really had no symptoms and it was just a fluke that turned up that they said, you know, this is something you should take care of. So I did.
Yeah, and we tried to do this back in March when I know during the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame annual meting, you had a display, you and Doug had a display at Minot State University at the Walter Piehl
Gallery. That's part of the Northwest Art Center on campus.
Named after your father.
Well, it's named after me.
It is.
Because I taught there for 48 years.
Wow. Teaching art. We're going to get into that here in just a bit. Yeah. What were the steps that led you to Minot State University? Where were you born? Where did you go to school? And how did you end up teaching there for 4 decades?
Man. Well, my hometown, my wife Becky, we're both from Marion, North Dakota, south of Jamestown, south and east a bit. And I grew up in a hard scrabble place. My dad, Walter Piehl Sr., was a horse buyer after the Second World War, buying horses that were being sent to slaughter. He bought them off the places, and we always had tons of horses around. And then my dad started producing rodeos as well. So, you know, I was just part of the whole deal. And one day, an announcer didn't show up in Binford, and I was in college at the time. And he said, the announcer's not going to show. He said, you been to college? You take over. So, so I started. That's how I did it.
Okay.
And I was going into teaching. So I made announcing my part of the rodeo for many years. And if I wasn't announcing, I was flanking bulls and flanking horses. So it was a family deal.
Okay.
We did it mostly in the eastern part of the state, some in Minnesota, some in South Dakota. We made it out as far as Richardton, produced a rodeo there too. But that's how I really got into it, through the family like that. And our place was a lot of farmland plus a lot of cattle and horses. My dad was also a cattle dealer for dairy cattle and beef cattle. He bought and sold. He was a trader. He loved.
How was your relationship with your father? The apple didn't fall far from the tree. I think you must have admired him.
Relationship, you know, we didn't. We weren't a warm and fuzzy father and son.
Okay.
He told me where to go to cut hay. And then he told me where to go after I cut hay and where to go do this. We didn't talk a lot about anything but work.
Okay.
But I think we got along fine. I think he respected that I decided to go to college because I really wanted to get out of the haystack for a while. And he respected my choice going into teaching. I think he would have liked to have seen me come back to the place, but I put too many years out in that wind, and I just decided, no, I'm going to stay and teach. And I went on to college and got a master's degree. And I was at the University of Minnesota for a year when I got a chance at a job in Minot.
When did you discover that, hey, I can paint, I love to paint, and how did that How did you kick that rock away from the wagon wheel and get that wagon to start rolling?
I didn't know I could paint. I knew I could draw. As a kid, we had no electricity, just a battery and a wind charger, and as a little kid, I drew a lot because radio and little lantern at night, and so I drew for entertainment. I mean, I filled up tablets and tablets full of cowboys and Indians and ranching, and during the Second World War, tanks and airplanes. I had a couple uncles in the war. So I drew all my life, and when it was time to go to college, I had no idea what I was going to go into, but I had a friend that went to Concordia, and he said they have a very good art department at Concordia. He said you should look into it. And I went there at Concordia with kids who were brought in from Baltimore and from St. Paul, all over the United States, some even from Europe, who'd had art their entire lives. They were at a college and above level. I went in there like an 8th grader. So it was, the only thing that kept me there was fear of the haystack.
Fear of the haystack, explain that.
Well, if I didn't go to college, where was I going to go? I was going back up on top of the haystack with a hired man trying to cover me up with a big buckload of hay.
Okay.
So I stayed with it. But after I graduated, I had a teaching degree, didn't get a job, and I really didn't feel complete as an artist, so I went to UND. My wife and I got married in '64. She got a job at the medical school, and I was in the master's program at the University of North Dakota. And after, I think it was the first semester, I was in a painting class, and had a teacher, they called him Dakota Dave, but he was hardly Dakota. Anyway, he said, I hear you on weekends, they tell me you go off on rodeo. And I said, yeah, the family's in the rodeo business, and so during the good weather, we're out there outdoor rodeo. He said, well, why don't you paint the rodeo and that subject? And I said, well, I didn't think appropriate, because at Concordia, they thought, you know, anything that was too glamorous, too full of, I don't know, it was just kind of not the style that was taught at Concordia. It was a very calm, very stylistic, beautiful. Cy Running was the head of the department and a teacher. He was a wonderful, wonderful teacher. But I really, you know, I was learning it all. And so I said, I just didn't really think rodeo was appropriate. And he said, you know, painting the rodeo, anything's appropriate to an artist. You can make it work for you. He said it would be far better for you to paint the rodeo than to continue painting those lame and insipid landscapes. I had enough college, I knew what lame and insipid meant.
Okay. So, now, let's move on to teaching art. Does you know, just a layman, I don't know a lot about painting, and things, but on the outside looking in, is there something internal that is required to portray something externally? Or how do you go about teaching art?
Well, I think people have a interest in it, a proclivity for it. They might have some ability, just like with music. Some people have a gift of the ear, some people have a gift of the voice, some people have a gift of musical ability, and any other talent, a so-called talent or ability, I like to call it. And most people that are in art departments have had some encouragement as drawers, as artists. And today, it's not uncommon, even in small schools, to have some art programs over the television and art taught a little bit. So they come to college, and we teach them design, we teach them how to draw, we try to teach them printmaking, we teach them to be all-around artists. Now the graphic designers are very important, and videographers are very important. It all ties in with art and graphic design. So they have some ability, and we try to tap into that and their energy, and have some wonderful students. In fact, Lene Hansen here, the director of the Bismarck Art Gallery Association, was a former student of mine at Minot State back in the day. I don't know how many decades ago, really. But she was a great student. She had a great career here in Bismarck, I think, working for North Dakota safety council, something like that.
Okay.
And now she took over as the director of the gallery here.
You mentioned music, and there's some great musicians who are also painters. Ron Wood with the Rolling Stones, Rick Allen with Def Leppard, Paul Stanley from the band Kiss, John Mellencamp, the liaison between music and...
John Lennon was a great artist.
John Lennon.
So was Paul McCartney. They were both art students. And then, of course, now Bob Dylan is really making a name for himself as a painter. So, yeah, there's a lot of crossover talent there.
Okay. Now, when you're painting something like this, first of all, explain, what are we looking at? What is this?
This looks to me like it's a bareback horse that's sun fishing, and the rider is coming off him in a very dramatic kind of fashion.
Okay, and it looks like there's a lot happening there. There's a lot of energy going on.
Yeah.
Do you get wore out when you're painting something like this? I mean, expressing yourself in this manner, or is it relaxing
I
for
get
you?
invigorated.
Really?
I start out, you'll see some lines in here that are blue chalk. I do the chalk drawing first to try to arrive at an image, and if I don't like what I'm doing, I can just take a wet cloth and wipe it off. Then after that, I do a preliminary drawing, which may conform to the chalk, or it might independently exist outside of what the chalk image was. Then I start putting on paint, and it's a joy to put on the paint and to try to get, I follow what the abstract expressionists out of New York, the School of Action Painting, where they felt that the way you put the paint on helps energize the painting. If the viewer can have an idea that the paint was put on with energy, it's going to give energy to the painting. So you can see here, the paint in some places was slapped on and drug across and splattered and dripped. So there's energy. It's fluid.
How long does it take to create something like this?
Well, it takes an hour, 2 hours to make a mess, and then you got to decide what to get rid of and what to keep. That's what takes the time.
So can you start a painting like this and then take a couple days off and come back to it?
That's the best thing to do, because you come back and you say, oh,
renewed energy.
That's not working. You can see places where I've painted out part of the images, covered it up with white paint and repainted it. And it also goes back to a school of art that originated in Italy, a school of art from the early 1900s. They were called the Futurists. And they believed in, well, they practiced a style of art that was like Cubism, like Picasso is famous for. But they believed that instead of an object sitting still, you should show an image of it moving, and it should be of tanks, it should be of airplanes, it should be of horses and races. And it showed all of these dramatic movement of objects and animals and people, but in the style of art like Cubism.
You've got the dog and pony show going on here. You've had it in Grand Forks, you had it in Minot. How long is your art going to be on display here in Bismarck?
It'll be up till the end of June.
End of June, okay.
Yep.
And explain why the name Dog and Pony Show.
Well, Doug's he does these wonderful little dog sculptures.
Yep.
Doug was a teacher at Minot State. He was a student of mine at Minot State. He went on to teach, I think, in Hazen for a while, at Wahpeton for a while, got a master's degree, and he came back and taught at Minot State. So he was a colleague and a friend and a former student. And he does these dog sculptures, and now he's got these wonderful paintings based on cowboy bandanas. He calls them the Bandanarama.
Bandanarama.
Paintings.
Wow.
And other things that are here. The other artist, Ned Krause, the ceramic artist, who has wall bowls and vessels, wonderful pieces. He's from Michigan, but he spent some time in Minot substitute teaching while another faculty member was on leave. So Doug and I had the first show 20 years ago in Grand Forks, and it was called the Dog and Pony Show for obvious reasons. And at some point or another, the inside joke is that I made a statement to Ned that I was a real artist and he was just a mud pie maker. And that got to be the inside joke, and so that's how the name of this show came about. Doug and Walt the Dog and Pony Show with Doug and Walter and Ned, the real artist.
Be sure to stop by the Bismarck Art Gallery Association on Front Avenue in Bismarck before the end of June and see Walter and Doug and everybody's art on display here. And I don't mean to put you on the spot, Walter, but you have been many things and you have done many things well, from rodeo to announcing to your art to teaching to a husband and father and things. Who are you, though? Who is Walter Piehl Jr.?
I'm just a kid from Marion, North Dakota. That's all. Who wanted to see a little bit more than the haystack, and I have, and I've enjoyed it all. And one of the greatest pleasures I had was being connected with rodeo, and loved the history of the West, all of it, and just still reveling in the rodeo part of the West, even though I do lots of other Western Americana subjects. But rodeo has been my mainstay for 50, 60 years of painting.
Walter, is there any information that you would like to share with our viewers? Perhaps a question that I didn't ask, or did we pretty much cover what you envisioned for this conversation today?
Well, when you said, breaks my heart, when we talked about a heart and a Charlie Russell saying, I wanted to mention, people think, why doesn't he, in fact, I remember people in Minot say, why don't you just paint horses? You know, why don't you just paint horses that look like horses? Well, because I don't want to. I want to do more. And they think, well, don't you like what Charlie Russell did? I love what Charlie Russell did. Charlie Russell is my favorite artist of all time, but he did it. I want to do something unique, something different, something that's unique to me. And Charlie Russell was one of the greatest storytellers, both in his artwork and in his written. Rawhide Rollins tales and his letters, illustrated letters. I mean, if you study Charlie Russell, you can have nothing but the utmost respect for the communication skills and the art skills of this guy. I love his work, but I don't want to copy him. I'm not interested in doing what everybody else is doing. I want to bring something unique to it, because that's what contemporary art is, what I taught, and it's what I was taught, and it's the way I roll right now.
I first learned of Walter Piehl Jr. on August 1st, 1998. Do you know what you did that day?
No.
You introduced Harold Schaefer, who accepted the honor of Louis L'Amour being inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. You were at the podium. Yeah. And a bit of irony, we began filming Dakota Cowboy 1 year ago today that we're doing this interview. And that first interview was one of my favorite people, Joe Wiegand, who portrays Theodore Roosevelt. And I can say exactly 1 year later, I interviewed another one of my favorite people, Walter Piehl Jr. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations for all your accomplishments, and we will do this again, okay?
Very good. Appreciate it, Bill. Thank you.
We will be right back on Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Improve your home or business with services from Zaka Remodeling and Construction. Whether you need windows or doors repaired, replaced, or installed for your residential or commercial property, Zaka Remodeling and Construction can help. Our local and family-owned business offers flexible hours and over 10 years of experience in the industry. We are your local Pella expert. Pella is rated #1 in highest quality and innovation by homeowners across the country. Feel confident when you choose Pella and Zaka Remodeling. Contact us today for a free estimate. Zaka Remodeling and Construction.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
The dictionary defines community as a group of people living in the same place or sharing common goals. Community is the largest part of our name, and we make it the largest part of our business. We support our local schools, organizations, youth programs, and local events from Bowman to Bismarck, because we all share a common goal to better the quality of life in our communities.
Come bank with us at Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your real community bank.
Medora Boot and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Hello and welcome to the MHA Interpretive Center. It's the perfect stop along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the cultural hub of the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation. Nestled along the shores of Lake Sagagawea in Newtown, North Dakota, 1 mile west of the Four Bears Casino. You can enjoy amphitheater performances, art exhibitions, and educational workshops utilizing our living cultural center. Enjoy some coffee, browse our gift shop, and learn about the original people of this land. Learn more at mhanation.com/interpretive center.
Well, hi everybody. It is Dakota Cowboy Day here on Beck TV, and we are brought to you by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. Today was Horse Camp Day, and today is about youth helping youth. We have a lot of experienced riders that are helpers for some kids across Bismarck and Mandan and the area that are just learning a little knowledge about horsemanship and horse riding skills so they can go off to maybe Medora or even have horses in their future. Anyway, we have a lot of interviews with those instructors and the kids themselves. I am with Carly Weinberger of Brien, North Dakota. And it was Carly's first day at horse camp, but Carly was a helper, an instructor. And I'm telling you what, the students fell in love with her. Carly, can you tell me a little bit about your first day?
Oh, today?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
today.
Okay, so when I got here, I was a little nervous about it, but when I first got to see the girls, I knew I was gonna fit in pretty well. So when I met the first girls, I was helping them out, getting their helmets on, and a lot of them thought I was funny, so they wanted to be with me. So these two were begging me I would be with them, but I sticked with this one girl, Nora, and throughout the whole time, I was looking for the laughs and fun with her. And then I decided to kind of let her decide what she wanted, and then she would like decide what pattern she wanted to go through or anything, how fast she wanted to go. I just let her be the boss. I was just the leader.
Well, she loved riding with you. And you ended up teaching her the barrels, going across the bridge, all kinds of things. So horses aren't new to Carly. Carly's grown up with horses. So Carly's in junior high rodeo. What else do you do with horses, Carly?
Usually I just bareback ride them, I play around with them. Sometimes I'll go out, give them baths, just try to find stuff like braid their hair, just try to play around with them, brush them. I just try to spend as much time as I can with them when I have my free time.
And you play a few other sports?
Yeah, I play basketball, volleyball, track, and what's that other one? I forgot my last one. Wait, no, never mind. I don't do that one anymore.
I don't know. I can't even keep track. So you're doing all that, and you've been a princess in the rodeos.
Yes, so my friends convinced me because they were running for Equine, and I did it for Melody. So they didn't have any crowns open, but Melody wanted me to run. So she made a title called Miss Little Prairie Rosebud, and I was at for like 2 years since COVID took off my first year. But I'm taking a break because my friends are taking a break, and I just don't want to do it by myself. It was a lot of work just with my friends, even though.
Well, I think you're doing a good job helping the youth across Bismarck. So what do you think we're going to improve on at the next camp? This was pretty good, but what do you think?
I think we should improve on them being more comfortable with them riding on their own and I want my Nora to learn how to gallop and trot through the barrels. I want her to learn how to go a little more faster on some things. That's what I want to work on with her.
I think that's great goal. I am with a little champion cowgirl, Miss Macy Mossett. I'm lucky enough to have got to ride with her, and she's my neighbor, but she is one of the best helpers that we have at horse camp. Macy, we had horse camp last year, and today was our first day back. What can you say about this year?
I like it better because it's not as long, because it's like less hot.
We did cut out an hour in the afternoon because we had a hot summer last year. That's right. And Macy goes to school at the academy, at St. Mary's Academy. You also junior high rodeo. Can you tell us a little bit about your season this year? It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I made it to nationals in Perry, Georgia.
In the barrel racing?
In the barrel racing.
And do you want to tell us about your horse?
The Stitch, she's at home.
Yeah.
And she's fast.
She's really fast?
Yeah.
What's her daddy's name?
Eddie Stenson.
Eddie Stinson. And you've kind of been working with her, you and your dad, for a long time, and she all of a sudden just came on this year. Consistent runs. I remember one time in Minot, she decided to run in front of second barrel, and we were crying, and I was like, that doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Now you're
She
winning.
didn't really do it after that.
How do you think being a competitive barrel racer and helps you with these students that we're working with all the time?
Kind of helps to like know more stuff about it, and like kind of like just getting the nose, and like kind of like just being like a good horseman, and
being a good horseman, and you can be a teacher.
Yeah.
Who have been some of your favorite students?
The ones that just like aren't scared to do anything, and like are talkative.
Yeah, Macy really likes horse camp. She loves talking. What do you look forward to in the future? What do you think you're going to do when you grow up? Will horses be involved?
Yes.
They will? Most definitely.
Yes.
Okay, well, Miss Macy, you have the best of luck in Georgia.
Okay,
We're
thank
all
you.
rooting for you. And
Thank you.
I have a little friend that learned a lot. Oh, I think you learned a lot. Maya, can you tell us your name?
Maya.
And it's Talbaka, right? Maya
Yes.
Talbaka. What grade are you in, Maya?
Second going into third.
And you live by Bismarck or Mandan?
Bismarck.
Bismarck. So was this your first time getting on a horse?
No.
No. How many times have you been on a horse? Probably 3 or 4?
5.
5? And you're heading out to Medora, so you had a lot to prepare. What did you learn today?
To like pull back when to get the horse to stop.
And you said a magic word all the time, didn't you?
Whoa.
Whoa. And what was your horse's name?
Josie.
What else did you learn?
That she's very kind.
She's
My
kind?
horse.
How about walking through gates? I noticed you learned something about walking through gates.
Go through like the middle of the gate.
The middle through the gate. What about your helper? You had a really good helper today, didn't you?
Her name is Sophie.
Sophie? And what did she teach you about riding and sitting on a horse?
To put my chin up.
Chin up? Is there anything else you can say about just being around horses? I know you kind of live in town, and your mom gave you the chance to come be around horses. What do you love?
They're very kind, and you can ride them, and they've been here for a long time.
Horses have been here for a long time? So you have a big ride coming up, don't you?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
In Medora.
Medora. She's going right to North Dakota and taking the trails after today. Did you meet some friends today?
Yes.
Yes. You brought a friend with you, didn't you?
Yeah, my friend Nora.
Perfect. Well, you rode so good today, Cowgirl, and I am so proud of you. We are still at horse camp. We're finishing up. And Nora, what's your last name?
Roth.
Nora Roth. This was your first time riding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how you felt and what you learned?
Okay. Carmela was the horse I rode, and she was a very sweet horse, and she listened to you when you wanted to do something, except at the end she got really sweaty and didn't want to walk.
She got a little tired, didn't she? Did you learn what kind of horses we were riding today?
Yeah.
What kind were they? They weren't those saddlebred horses they were talking about. Were they quarter horses?
Yeah.
And Carmela was a girl, a mare, right? How did you What did you learn about horses that you didn't know before? Was it a little bit harder than you thought?
Yeah, that when you were riding them, I didn't know that you had to pull them back to stop them or kick them to get going.
Okay, so we learned 2 things. What about following other horses too closely? Did you learn anything about that?
Yeah, and one time when me and my partner were going, my foot got caught in between the horses and it pulled it back and it kind of hurt.
Oh, so we have to be careful about getting too close.
And bumping into each other.
How about your helper? You had a helper named Carly today that you just really liked.
She was funny.
She is funny, isn't she? What else?
She helped me a lot. She helped me practice to get on the horse and if you ever had to jump off.
Oh, she's so smart because sometimes you just have to get off those horses,
yeah.
Even though these were gentle. What about the barrels? I saw you trotting and running through those barrels. She taught you that too, didn't she?
Yeah, she showed me it first and then I went and she showed me my mistakes and I redid it.
Awesome. Well, do you plan on riding again?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask if I can come back here sometime.
And there's lots of places in North Dakota to ride too. I'm so glad you had a good time. I'm with Sophie Huff, and we just had a little bit of horse camp today. How do you think it went, Soph?
I thought it went pretty good.
What's your favorite part about helping kids that don't know anything about horses?
Them getting to learn to ride and having their first experience with riding a horse.
What do they say?
A lot of them don't really say anything. Some just say that it's really fun. And I like to go fast.
They like to go fast. Yeah, Sophie gets the ones that like to go fast a lot. You end up with the riders that we put bridles on right away after we go through the process. Okay, so you have a lot of horses at home. You've been obsessed with horses since you were little. Now you're helping other kids with it, but you also high school rodeo. Can you tell us a little bit about transitioning from being a barrel racer and breakaway or pole bender, and now you're a really good breakaway roper?
I mean, honestly, when you just start to rope, it gets to be more fun than other events eventually.
So breakaway roping is what you do. You're hooked.
It's fun and easier as you go.
Okay, state finals are coming up, and you practiced last night and we're roping really sharp. What's your plans?
Just to rope like I'm in practice, basically.
And what horse are you using for the breakaway?
Calamity.
Calamity.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I don't know. Anything else we can share about horse camp?
They just like seeing the babies too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's what they won't leave us alone either. And I'm with Miss Tamara Eaton, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where are you from, Tamarin?
I live by Rodeo, and if you go past, there's his house on the hill, and that's where I live.
That's where you live?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any horses out there in Reeder?
Yes, we actually do. We have my horses.
You do, but you rode some different horses today.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you ride today?
I rode Poncho and what's his name?
Poncho, and I think you rode Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, so you rode a quarter horse and a pony.
I rode Poncho and Lee, a quarter horse and a pony.
That's right. What grade are you going into?
Third.
Third?
Mm-hmm.
And how fast did you go today?
I went pretty fast. I went faster than I normally do.
You went faster than you normally do. Does it help that you get to ride horses a little more often? Are you feeling a little more confident?
Mm-hmm.
What would you do if you didn't have horses in your life? Are you happy that they're a part of your life?
Mm-hmm. If I didn't have horses in my life, I'd probably be sad and been asking my mom every day for one.
Every day?
Mm-hmm.
Well, out in Reeder, is there anything else you do for fun?
We go to town and ride our bikes, and sometimes we go down the hill and ride our bikes and go for walks down our hill.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to having you back again, and you have a great summer. Poncho will be thinking about you, okay?
Okay.
Say bye to everyone.
Bye.
Happy trails.
Have a wonderful day.
And there you have it, folks. There was lots of smiles and lots of miles that were made today. And something that I didn't talk about, those helpers have a lot of preparation that goes into this. They help get horses ready. We have a staff meeting about safety, and they learn a lot of business skills. So you are sure to see some of these cowgirls as leaders in the future. Anyway, that's all we have. Happy trails, and we will see you next week.
It's time to get educated, people.
And that's just what we're doing on our new show, Educated. Every day we bring you the stories from inside the classroom that mainstream media won't cover.
So stay educated with us, weekdays at 2:30 p.m. Central Time on Beck News or anytime online at beck.news.
Welcome to the start of Main Street, the Main Medical Building located at 315 Main, downtown Minot. The unique shops inside offer body and mind healing, a safe haven for mothers-to-be, mixed martial arts, hair salons, massages, counseling services, and much more. Also, keep a special lookout for a brand new Jamaican-inspired restaurant opening this fall. Take a stroll inside the Main Medical Building and uncover the unique shops and experiences that lay within. Discover the start of Main Street at the Main Medical Building today.
Hi, Rich from Law Motors. 45 years ago, Dad started selling cars. 35 years ago, I started selling cars. And 15 years ago, Tyler started selling cars.
And I'm Mom, and I told all of them, just be nice.
Whether you have guns, ammo, vehicles, toys, or collectibles, consign with Last Chance Auction and we can help put money in your pocket. Give us a call at 334-SOLD or visit lastchancesd.com for upcoming auctions.
Man has worked in sync with Mother Nature since the beginning of time. Relying on her to provide sufficient moisture every growing season is a roll of the dice. You can now insure your pastures and rangelands with Rainfall Index policy available from Chamley Financial. This will give you the peace of mind by knowing you will be protected from the adverse effects of Mother Nature. Contact Chamley Financial today, 719-338-3428, or go to chamleyfinancial.com.
JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision has built a reputation as one of the most reputable and reliable body shops in this region. With nearly 30 years in business, customers count on JR's to get it done right the first time. They'll work with your insurance company to smoothen the process. From their 40-foot frame straightening machine, Sickens paint, and the latest technology in the repair industry, they're the only name you need to know. For auto, semi, RV, and trailer repair, it's JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision, North Dickinson. Call 701-483-6778. JR's Auto Body and Truck Collision. For more than 70 years, farmers and ranchers have relied on Dickinson Ready Mix for all their concrete needs. Whether it's a shop building for machinery storage or paved feedlots for your livestock, grain bins for on-site grain storage, or precast pads for automatic cattle waterers, Dickinson Ready Mix has been there to provide quality concrete for all your agricultural structures and infrastructure. For your next project, call Dickinson Ready Mix to discuss the benefits that concrete can add to your operation.
Hey, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
We're back here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. And we now feature our North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame inductee of the week, presented by Torgerson Auto Center on East Bismarck Expressway in Bismarck. You can follow them on Facebook so you don't ever miss the exciting deals that they offer each and every week. You can also find them at torgersonautocenter.com. Our inductee of the week this week is a member of the famous North Dakota Six-Pack. Dean Armstrong, whose parents were Hugh Hunt and Gladys Bell Smith Armstrong, grew up in Steele and Sentinel Butte. Dean's dad was also a cowboy and produced the Diamond Bar Wild West show that traveled throughout the United States. Dean competed in the roughstock and bulldogging events during his rodeo career, bringing him all-around honors and lots of prize money. Dakota Cowboy now takes you back to the induction ceremonies held August 7th, 1999, as founding board member Winston Satrin gives a brief biography and introduces Dean Armstrong in the category of modern era rodeo, who took his place here in the Hall of Honorees.
It's my pleasure today to introduce the rodeo honorees. We're proud to induct 3 cowboys from Fort Berthold and 1 from Sentinel Butte into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. These cowboys brought honor to the state of North Dakota by their rodeo achievements and their character. The inductees all started their careers while they were in high school and worked their way through professional rodeo and became champions in their own right. Today we honor men who were not only great in the arena, but were national heroes to the citizens of North Dakota. These men add to the prestige of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, and we welcome their addition to this great tribute to the Western way of life. Our first inductee was described by his fellow cowboys as a guy that loved to get on the rank ones. Dean Armstrong had no fear, and he had extra try. Dean rode the ones everybody else dreaded, and he knocked holes in them. Dean not only rode bareback horses, but also rode saddle broncs, bulls, as well as steer wrestled and calf roped. On one streak, Dean went 3 years without getting bucked off a bareback horse. Dean won 11 North Dakota Rodeo Association championships, 6 in bareback, 2 saddle bronc riding, 1 in bull riding, and 2 all-arounds. Let's welcome one of the tough ones with lots of try, Dean Armstrong.
What now? Well, it is really a great honor, I'll tell you. And I enjoyed rodeoing all the time I done it. My speech is not very long, but it's awful good. I found out one thing in our rodeo, and there's some awful nice people in North Dakota. I met a lot of them. My speech is about over.
Thank you, Dean.
Dean Armstrong would have been 93 years old tomorrow, June 19th. Come and see him and the other 5 members of the Six Pack, one of our new displays here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. This segment has been brought to you by Torgerson Auto Center in Bismarck. At the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, we honor the champions of the past and support the champions of the future. Our Dakota Cowboy Student Athlete of the Week is 10-year-old Cruz Curley from Wilton Public School. Cruz is the son of Casey and Michelle, and he loves roping, training horses, football, basketball, and baseball. He excels in school. He won his first saddle at the age of 6 for All Around Cowboy, where he won every event that weekend. Cruz won his second saddle at 8 years old at the Healing Horse Ranch Wrangler Team Roping. He's won around 60 buckles and numerous other prizes in his rodeo career so far. He won the dummy roping 6 years in a row at the Wrangler Team Roping Championships. Dakota Cowboy salutes our Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, Cruz Curley. If you know someone you would like to nominate for the Student Rodeo Athlete of the Week, email their name along with a biography and some photos of the student along with a video of them in action. Send them to Dakota Cowboy at becknews.com. 10 years old and has accomplished so much already. I have a feeling we might be seeing him here at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. We'll be back one more time here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.
Okay, we're looking for ideas for our next commercial. Thoughts?
We have a fully stocked lot. Cars, trucks, SUVs.
Clearly.
We strive for honesty, transparency, and a better buying experience.
Of course we do. Guys, think, everybody's busy. Nobody has time to spend hours shopping for a car. Has to be simple, easy.
Sales, service, simplified.
Perfect. Torgerson Auto Center, East Bismarck Expressway. Sales, service, simplified.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets, sleepwear, dog beds.
Whoa, Charles. Everyone now can get MyPillow products at huge discounts at MyPillow.com. That's right. Now's the time to go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our 3-in-1 sale. We're bringing you exciting new products, overstock specials, and closeout deals you won't find anywhere else. For example, when you buy one of our brand new MyPillow 2.0s, you get another one absolutely free. And with our overstock sale, you save 50% on our luxurious Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.99 for the best sheets ever. And with our biggest closeout special, you get our all-season slippers for only $35. Or our sandals and slides for just $25. Quantities are limited, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.
Medora Boot and Western Wear open year-round in historic Medora. You'll find quality items for cowboys and cowgirls of all ages. Medora Boot and Western Wear has over 1,500 pair of boots on hand at all times. New this year, the R. Watson brand of boot, featuring an all-leather heel, riveted shank, and a 10-iron leather sole. Jeans, shirts, hats, caps, and more, and customer service is #1. Medora Boot and Western Wear in historic Medora.
Medora Boot and Western Wear.
Nick Bolton here with the latest from Bell & Howell. We call them tack glasses. Inspired by the sunglasses worn by our heroes in uniform, tack glasses block blinding glare so well, invisible objects suddenly become visible. Enhance colors to give you vision as sharp as an eagle's and survive even the harshest conditions. Look, ordinary sunglasses just make things darker, which could be deadly in a tactical situation. Tack glasses improve optical clarity so you can see clearly, even in low light. If you've never seen how this light filtering technology works, check this out. Nothing to see, right? But look again as we hold up our tack glasses. A colorful American eagle is revealed. Amazing!
Act now to get your tack glasses for just $19.99, and we'll even ship it to you free. So don't delay. Order yours today.
To order, call 1-800-288-9503. That's 1-800-288-9503, or order online at trytackglasses.com. 1-800-288-9503.
it's hard to believe another hour has come and gone, but the saying that time flies when you're having fun holds true for all of us here at Dakota Cowboy, because that's what we do each and every week, and we are presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. This past weekend, the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame held the 2023 Hall of Honoree induction ceremonies, and they were in conjunction with the Miss Rodeo North Dakota 2024 pageant and coronation. And coming soon here on Dakota Cowboy, we'll bring you highlights from what is pretty much our signature weekend of the year at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. A big thank you to all of this week's guests, and a big thank you to you for watching it. And we'll be sure to see you again here next week on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust. I'm Wild Bill. We'll see you in the future, if not in the pasture. Adios.
In this business spotlight, we hear from Keith and Michelle DeKook of Weckert Realtors, Providence Properties.
We felt like we were called to serve this community, and that is actually where we came up with our motto for our company, is that we are in the people business and real estate is how we serve.
I would say probably number one, honesty. You need to be able to trust an agent. In addition to that is transparency, so that we are totally open to our clients, as far as what we're doing and how it gets done.
Another thing I think is very important to people is responsiveness. I'll answer my phone pretty much any time of the day, unless it's like 2 in the morning, because I feel like the clients is my top priority, and if they're needing something, they're needing something, and I'm there to serve them.
And it's also very important to us that we actually follow up, and then we tell them we're going to do something, then we're going to do it.
I love to help new buyers go through the process. It's a complex process, and I love to be able to respond to them and meet their needs and find out about them and what makes them tick.
People buy people before they buy goods and services, Well, right now there's less homes for sale than last year, but more homes are actually being sold.
In this type of market, a buyer needs to be ready, and they should be pre-approved so that they are ready to go when they find the home they want.
Because they are selling quickly.
Thanks for watching this business spotlight on Beck TV.
We are rewriting Hollywood's script for our kids. I'm pop culture expert Tina Griffin, and as a former Hollywood actress, I'm giving you a behind-the-scenes look at how today's entertainment is eroding the foundational development of America's youth, and how to safely navigate this pop culture chaos. Knowledge is power. Parents want solutions. It's time to get the power back in your hands and reclaim the right to decide who and what should influence your kids.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on Beck TV.
We're the ladies of Another View. Join us at 9 a.m. weekday mornings.
We'll discuss issues you care about from local and national perspectives.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. on Beck TV and online at beck.news.
Now you can have the personalized forecast at your fingertips when you need it. Beck's exclusive Weather Insight is information tailored to you. Radar, weather alerts, forecasts, and videos. Download the free Weather on Beck News app. Search your app store now.
Hey y'all, it's Trent on the loose. I'm a 6th generation farmer, husband, patriot, father. And as much as I'd love to just sit here under this shade tree and celebrate my own place on my front porch, truth of the matter is that people don't know who, where, and how is producing their food. So travel the country with Trent on the loose, and we'll find those interesting human interest stories behind the people that bring us the efficient food supply. Trent on the loose.